thousands of generations, the gunslingers were knights, sworn to protect us from the coming of the dark.
These visions, as you call them.
What do you see?
I see a tower, the man in black, and the gunslinger.
They're just dreams. They're not real, Jake.
There's another world out there. I know there is. Whoa!
Who are you?
It's you. You're a gunslinger, right?
There are no gunslingers. Not anymore.
Why does the man in black want to destroy the tower?
The tower protects both our worlds. If it falls, hell will be unleashed.
He's like the devil, isn't he?
No, he's worse.
You can't stop what's coming. Death always wins.
Your world might be gone, but mine isn't. If you let that tower fall, billions of people die.
Do they have guns and bullets in your world?
You're gonna like Earth a lot.
All right, let's go.
You clawing your way out of the darkness? Did you tell the kid whoever walks with you dies by my hand?
I will kill him for both of us. I do not aim at my hand. He who aims with his hand has forgotten the face of his father. I aim with my eye. I do not shoot with my hand. I shoot with my mind. Jake! I do not kill with my gun. I kill with my heart.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of any major corporation whatsoever.
Welcome to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is
Reverend Steve. I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, father of around about 5 kids. Someone needs to shut up the dog because the baby is sleeping. The baby is sleeping, and I want her to stay sleeping. Really, is the dog barking because I'm doing the podcast? I'm gonna break this dog in half.
okay. This is Sticky. What's
Sketchy?
Sketchy. Okay.
Yeah. So, hello everybody. Hello and welcome to a very special Diet Pope on Film. It's all the good taste you know and love from the Pope on Film, but in a slightly shorter package. It's Diet Pope on Film, 0 calories with a twist of lemon. This episode is a shorter one because I am playing the stay-at-home dad role for a couple of days. My wife is at the present moment at a mall in DC, possibly getting drunk with some of her friends from Tumblr.
Uh-huh.
So she is at the Supernatural convention, which starts out tonight with like a pajama party thing. I'm not 100% sure, but the big the big like meet and greet and photos and lectures and Q&As and everything, that starts tomorrow. Tonight is just the sort of welcome event. Anyway, my wife's a big Supernatural fan. You would know that if you had listened to 5 seconds of this freaking show. So my wife is gone, and I have a week off, which is good, but I have a week off where I'm taking care of the whole family, and it is difficult. I had no idea how much my wife drives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta take Maxwell to his bus stop, then come home, make sure that Bella gets off to the bus and doesn't miss her bus. Then I've gotta take Emerald to the Gordon Cooper Learning Center, and then come back. And then today I had to take Amber to therapy, and then wait for Amber to be done with therapy, and then take her to school, and then come home. And then I was there for like an hour, and then Emerald's like, I'm already done. You got to come pick me up. So I got to go and get Emerald, and then bring her back. And then I had like 2 hours, and then Maxwell gets off of his bus, and then I had to go pick up Amber and then take her to work. And now I'm here recording the podcast, and then during the break, I'm going to be getting dinner for everybody, and then finishing the podcast, and then picking up Amber from work. So I've got a full day. I've got a full day. Here's the exciting part. Here's the exciting part for me. I had to wake up. My wife and I woke up at 4:20 in the morning, so I could get Natasha off to the airport. And I woke up on my own because, I had a nightmare.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not fully sure what the nightmare was about, but I believe
Alan Thicke?
Possibly. I was being chased in like a zombie type movie, but it wasn't a zombie. Somebody was chasing us, and it was me and a group of people. Basically, I was in some sort of horror movie, and it was me and your typical cast of people. So there was like a young couple in high school, and there was an old man, and there was someone with a secret, and then there was me. And so we were hiding from this person who was chasing us in like a rednecky sort of chain restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got horns on the walls and street signs indoors. So we're in this restaurant, and we kind of barricade ourselves in, Night of the Living Dead style, and we're like, okay, there's no way he's going to get us here. But apparently the person who is chasing us has some sort of supernatural magic powers, because suddenly the entire restaurant starts raining dead moths.
Okay.
Hundreds and hundreds of dead moths just come raining from the ceiling of this restaurant, and I freak out, and I'm covering my head, and I'm kind of ducking in a crouch because I don't want these dead moths to fall on me. And at that exact moment, in real life, Eleanor decided she wanted to cuddle up to me, so she moved up to me in bed and lightly started caressing my neck.
Okay.
And I have never woken up faster in my life. I just shot up like, oh my God, the moth! Okay, okay. It was just a nightmare. Eleanor was cuddling me. And then I was like, okay, I have no idea what time it is, but I'm going to try and go back to bed. Okay, I'm almost asleep. And then I get shaken. Honey, we need to wake up. Can you get up and make coffee? And I'm like, And she's like, I'm sorry, honey. And then I said, no, I'm already awake. It's because of the moths. It would take too long to explain. I'm already up. Because of the baby and moths. Anyway, I'll make coffee. So I've been up since like 4:15, and I am wired as hell. So this won't be the longest. This won't be the longest episode in the world, because I have still have a lot of things to do. because
we're just gonna shit on a movie and get on with our lives.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this. My wife has gone living inside this supernatural world, and she's going to meet Sam and Dean and Misha and all of these people. She's going to meet Cass and it's so many people that are so important to her. And I really did some soul searching. I really thought about it, and here's some exciting news. I'm about 95% sure my wife is coming back.
Okay, that's good.
Positive. Yeah, I'm about 93% sure that my wife is coming back. I'm pretty sure my wife is coming back.
Yeah.
So
no,
that's
93. I think I'm 93 that anybody comes back ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm like 89% sure my wife is coming back.
Yeah. If somebody tells me 100%, they're full of fucking shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, Bella.
If she had to die, that would be a perfect place for her to die.
You sound like Fox News and the Texas shooting. What you sound like? What? The Barack Obama. That's awesome.
So fucking hard.
Thank you for interrupting the opening of my podcast to show me a meme, Emerald. That's really awesome. No, I haven't gone live yet. No one can see any of this. Just FYI. Bunny, this morning.
Yes.
This morning I was on my way to our spacious, luxurious, state-of-the-art 9-story Pope on Film recording studios, which are located, of course, right here in beautiful downtown racist Oklahoma to record today's episode of the podcast. Here's a little aside for you longtime listeners. Sometimes I call it beautiful downtown nowhere, Oklahoma. Sometimes I call it beautiful downtown racist Oklahoma. And sometimes I call it beautiful downtown Shawnee, Oklahoma. Interesting fact, those are all the same thing. Shawnee is also nowhere and racist, so it fits.
Yes.
It just fits. So on my way to the studio, I drive past one of our town's 3, count them, 3 really shitty movie theaters.
Uh-huh.
I also passed 3 of our town's $84 Dollar Generals.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
$84 Generals. So I always try to read the marquee of the movie theater to see what's new, what's showing, what's the big new movie that's playing at the movie theater. So I always, try and slow down, swerve, stop in the middle of rush hour traffic, many crashes, much death, but it's worth it to know what's new in the world of movies.
Yes.
So this morning I'm passing by the marquee and they're playing a brand new movie that I haven't heard of, that I'm really excited to see.
Okay.
Really excited to see this brand new movie. And it's a sequel to a popular movie that just came out. Or I wouldn't say a sequel, it's more of a remake. It's called The Foreigner It.
The Foreigner It. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's essentially the same movie as It.
Yeah.
It's just you know what? I wasn't sure when they said that Sacha Baron Cohen was going to play Pennywise, but he just nails it.
Yeah.
He just nails it.
But do we know Cousin It's country of origin?
That's a good point. No, we do not.
He clearly does not speak English.
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
So
but Sacha Baron
might
Cohen.
be, they might have just left out the cousin.
Yeah. But Sacha Baron Cohen was amazing as Penny. Hello, everyone. It is me, the evil clown. It is me, evil American clown. I am called the Pennywise, and I will scare you. Instead of a balloon, he's just holding a bowl of goulash. just a big bowl of goulash.
Yes.
But I heard that it's really, really good.
Oh,
okay, but now we're live. So just FYI, Bella.
Okay.
Now we are live. You just went in the closet. Bella is in the closet. I got it live right here. My daughter is in the closet. I'll tell you, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no.
with this family. Well then, Bunny, it is time once again for another incredible feat of edutainment with a brand new installment of Steve's Historical Approximations.
Okay.
Thank you, Bella. This is a semi-regular feature here on the Pope on Film podcast wherein I, Steve, get a bit of history and reword it in my own unique voice.
Yes.
Therefore, it's not 100% accurate, but then again, nothing really is 100% accurate. But I would say like it's more like 94% accurate, 98% accurate, somewhere in that vicinity. This week's Steve's Historical in Approximations is brought to you by cheap next day Halloween candy. Parents, why trick or treat for 4 hours in the cold when you can go to the store the next day and buy cheap next day Halloween candy? Don't take any of the M&Ms. The M&Ms are my secret weapon to keep the baby not freaking out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, try not to take any more. Because I had to do that once today. The baby's like, Mom's not here. I'm freaking out. Ah! Ooh, M&Ms. We got M&Ms, people. So I'm going to use those for the rest of the weekend.
Yes.
So, Bunny,
Mm-hmm.
we have done a number of these things as Steve's Historical Approximations, and most of them have been somewhat fairly historical, you know?
Yes.
We're talking about something in history, some historical thing that has happened. Well, I try to be different.
Uh-huh.
When people think I'm going to zig, I zag.
That's right.
And then when people think I'm going to zag, then I just shit on the floor.
Yes.
That's going to surprise them. They're not going to expect that, you know? So this time around...
And not quite sure what to do about it either.
Yeah, because what do you do when a grown man just starts pooping on the floor?
Yeah, you don't want to be rude, but yet he's pooping on your floor.
Yeah, and then when they're cleaning it up, that's when I zag.
Aha.
Because they're not expecting it. So this time around on Steve's Historical Approximations, we are going to be focusing on the world of popular music in the 90s.
Okay, well, that's still history.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to go into a different area that you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the 90s, a rap/R&B/reggae group came along. They actually met in high school, and one guy went to a girl and said, "Hey, starting a band, you want to be in my band?" And she's like, "Okay, but can my boyfriend be in it?" Sure. And that's how they met. They were in high school and they started a band. Originally, they were called the Rap Translator.
Okay.
Which is weird because it's a singular thing, but they were a band of 3 people. So it's weird that they were called the Rap Translator. They weren't called, there also wasn't a band called One White Stripe.
No.
They were the White Stripes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was weird that they were called the Rap Translator. Then they changed their name to Translator Crew, which makes more sense because there's a crew. But it was Translator spelled Tranz later.
Oh, that's edgy.
You have created like a hurdle right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's like in the beginning of that thing you do when they want to call themselves the Wonders, but ONE-DERS. Like, oh, you just want people to have a difficulty, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, they eventually, after the 2 names, they decided to name themselves the Refugee Camp because 2 of them were, of the 3 people in the band, were originally from Haiti.
Okay.
And then they shortened it from the Refugee Camp to just the Fugees.
The Fugees, okay.
The Fugees. The Fuggies.
They sound vaguely familiar.
Oh yeah, they did that wonderful cover version in the 90s of Killing Me Softly. that played everywhere all the time throughout like half of the 90s. The Fugees comprised of 3 people. Pras, Lauryn Hill, with a Y. Just want to be clear, Lauryn, Lauryn Hill, with a Y.
I was thinking, how you put a Y in Hill?
Yeah, no. And Wyclef Jean. Those are the 3 people. Wyclef and Pras were both born in Haiti, but they were raised in New Jersey, Brooklyn, yada, yada, yada. Lauryn Hill is American. Their first album that they released in 1994 got some people's attention.
I stink furry.
Okay, thank you for telling everybody on the podcast that you stink, Maxwell. That's really exciting. Their first album in 1994 got people's attention, but their second album, The Score, was released in 1996, and that features a couple of hits, including their amazing cover of Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly. Huge hit. The album went multi-platinum. They won a bunch of Grammys, and that song, their version of Killing Me Softly, was number 2 on the U.S. charts. They were big.
I have totally blocked it out of my memory. So either that remake only exists in Universe X, or possibly I've completely blocked it out of my memory, because really, why fuck with perfection?
Exactly. So they were huge, and then in 1997 they broke up and they went their separate ways. That's what happens when people in the band are dating.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have any more of the White Stripes. Thanks.
Weren't they? Wait. Weren't they brother and sister?
No, they were husband and wife. They were married. They were dating, and then they were married. But then the moment that they broke up, their band became huge.
Okay.
So they knew that if they're going to be huge and popular and famous and crap, if we become famous and we're like on talk shows and shit, everyone is going to ask us about the divorce.
Yeah.
Like the last thing that this newly divorced couple wants is to have every interview saying, "Oh, is it difficult? You two to work together? Oh, this must be hard." And suddenly that's the story that everyone's leading with. So they came up with the fake idea, with the fake concept that they were brother and sister. And it worked for a really long time.
Oh, okay. So, but that was still a thing. So I'm not just misremembering it. Okay, that's really
they pretended to be brother and sister. Yeah, but they were married. So, in 1997, the Fugees broke up. They went their separate ways, and America watched with bated breath to see what these 3 people would do solo, individually. What would these 3 people do? And what year was that again? Oh, yes. The year was 1997, buddy! No, I don't have much about the year 1997 because we recently riffed 1997 on this podcast because I like doing the year was bits throughout the podcast, whether it's on Steve's historical approximations or not, because I think it's just a funny bit. Yes. 1997 was the year that Princess Diana was killed by Elton John.
Yes.
But, you know, a lot did happen in the year 1997. That I didn't get to mention in the last podcast. For example, in 1997, the Lion King musical made its debut on Broadway and shocked the theater world by staging, during, of course, the tender ballad, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, a hardcore lion sex scene.
All right.
Is that on stage? Lion on lion sex. Because that is what happened, just to be clear, in the movie, in the Disney animated film, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Nala's laying down there like, "Oh, let me lick your face. Oh, I'm laying down. Take me, Simba." There's a sex scene in a Disney animated film, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when they did the play The Lion King, they said, let's just go balls out, literally. Lion balls out. They staged a sex scene in the play. In 1997, Mother Teresa died in Calcutta, and I will never forget her last words, which were, quote, "I always fucking hated you dirty-ass poor people." Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I see a light. Oh no, I see darkness. I see demons. I see demons. Someone help me. So, like, I have that embroidered on a pillow.
Yes.
During a boxing match in 1997, Evander Holyfield whispered to his opponent, "Hey, only pussies with ridiculous lisps don't bite their opponent's ear off." So, and then when
that was an amazing moment in boxing.
Yeah, but just to be clear, it was entirely Evander Holyfield's fault.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes,
and then Mike Tyson's like, okay, I may have lost my boxing career, but I still have all of my millions. And then Don King is like, oh, now's a good time to tell you, you've only been making about 5% of all of the money you've been making. 95% of it actually goes to me. Bye.
Wow.
Then Don King took off. So that was fun for everybody. In the year 1997, Tiger Woods became the youngest golfer ever to fuck over 250 porn stars in a single year. That is a record that still stands.
That is, and he should get a green jacket just for that.
Yeah, yeah. Now, here is an actual true story. Here is a 100% true story, okay?
Yeah.
I figured this out. I figured out this true story of a strange thing that happened in the year 1997, and I love this story so much. In the year 1997, people are shitting themselves in fear over the so-called bird flu, the avian flu, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
People are going nuts over that. So Hong Kong is really worried. Apparently it's Hong Kong and there's just a lot of birds and people are starting to get sick, like super sick, real sick. So they say, what we need to do, we need to nip this in the bud. We need to stop it before it starts. So you know what they do?
What they do?
They did the most Hong Kongian thing they could think of.
Giant monster.
No, they said, we are going to kill all of the chickens in the city.
Yeah, yes, I remember that.
So you might think, oh, but this is Hong Kong, big city, massive city, bustling metropolis. How many chickens could there be, like, in Hong Kong?
Yeah.
That's like New York saying, we're going to kill all the flamingos.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, there can't be too many. It's New York City. Like, how many flamingos could there be? So it's like, this is Hong Kong. How many chickens? They killed 1.25 million chickens. 1.25 million chickens Hong Kong had killed. Now, here's my question, though.
Uh-huh.
How come there is not a horror movie about this?
The slaughter of the chickens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if not like a horror movie, then like an art film. Because I can see like a young man, you know, struggling to make ends meet. Then finally he gets this high-paying job, but he doesn't know what he's going to be doing.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's killing chickens. And he's haunted. He's haunted by the chickens, all the chickens he has to kill.
Yes, yes. But I'm also like picturing like a Snake Plissken as a chicken bounty hunter.
That's the great thing about this chicken killing story is that we could do like 5 different types of films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would get paid per chicken head.
Yeah.
He'd wear him like a necklace.
Mm-hmm. Also in 1997, the Fugees have broken up, and all 3 members are working on solo albums, solo projects. The 3 members, again, are Wyclef Jean, Lauryn Hill with a Y, and Pras.
Yes.
Here now are their 3 careers. Pras was tapped to record a song for the wildly racist Warren Beatty movie Bulworth. You remember Bulworth?
I don't think I've ever seen it. I remember the movie. I don't remember.
You are not missing much, my friend.
Okay.
You are not missing much. It's pretty racist. So he recorded the song Ghetto Superstar. And in 1999, his song Ghetto Superstar was the 8th most played song of the entire year.
Really?
It was a huge hit worldwide. It was a massive smash for Pras. But here's how the song goes. If you haven't heard the song, let me sing the song for you. This beautiful woman comes on and she sings, and it's Ghetto Superstar, that is what you are. This is the part of the song that everyone will remember, 'cause my voice is so pretty and it's really nice. So when you think of this song, you'll only remember my voice. Well, here comes the part of the song that sucks. It's the part that actually features Pras. I'm bringing the whole song down with my raps because I am really bad at this. Ghetto Superstar, really beautiful part. He's the weakest link of his own song. I feel the same way about the Eminem song Monster. And it's like Rihanna singing this beautiful chorus, and then, here comes Eminem to ruin the song. Bitches, bitches, what? And like, okay, yeah, all right. Yep, Eminem's a genius. So he releases this single, and it's a huge, massive hit. And I'm like, oh, man, everyone's like, oh, man, I can't wait for Pras' album to come out. He releases the album, and it bombs spectacularly. And so when it comes to Pras, nope, he's done. Who's next? Wyclef Jean had, without a doubt, the biggest career of the three of them. He released good music. He had a number of hits. His song Gone Till November is just a classic. And I love that song so much. Plus, on his solo albums, he did some really weird shit. His album, The Wycleftic, because he's being he has 2 duets on the song. One of them is with The Rock.
The Rock? Okay.
The Rock. The song is called It Doesn't Matter. That was his catchphrase back in the day.
Yeah.
When he was still the WWF. And Wyclef is like bragging about himself, and then The Rock just, it doesn't matter! Rock, I just won 2 new Grammys. It doesn't matter about your Grammys! It's a real weird song. It's a real weird song. And then, and this is amazing, my wife Natasha actually refuses to allow this song to be played in the house.
Okay.
She banned this next song. But Wyclef does a rap song with Kenny Rogers.
Oh, man. And that didn't rip the fabric of space-time?
And it's amazing because it's Wyclef. This is Wyclef out in the country, and who better to set it off when you're in the country than this man right here? And before the song even comes on, Kenny Rogers shows up, and he does one of those things that rappers do before the song starts. So it's, yo, this is Kenny Rogers kicking it on the countryside with me and Wyclef.
Yeah.
And we're going to kick it off right here. And he starts singing his song, but then Wyclef jumps on top of it. It's really weird because literally the song goes like this. You got to know when to hold. Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, my God.
It's really weird. It's a bizarre-ass duet. But Wyclef recorded a song with Kenny Rogers. And I said to myself, this is reason enough to buy his album.
Why are you doing this for historic approximations and not the Mandela effect?
Because unlike the other songs, I love these ones.
Okay.
If anything, it's like the reverse Mandela effect, because I love this album and I feel like no one else knows of this album's existence.
No,
Despite
no.
the fact that it was like a #1 album, a huge hit. It ends with him doing this weird rap version of "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd.
Oh man.
And yet, I played it for my brother who's seen Pink Floyd like in concert like 3 times, and he's a huge Pink Floyd fan. And I played it for him, and he's like, "Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, no, that's pretty good." So it's an amazing album, and so Wyclef, he has a huge career, and he's a big success until he ran for president of Haiti for seemingly no reason other than to have people metaphorically suck his own dick.
Okay.
That's like me suddenly being like, I'm going to run for president of Mexico.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I roll into Mexico in like a limousine and shit. Hey, I'm running for Mexican president. And then he had a charity. This is the thing that really killed his career, not the fact that he ran for president just so people could suck his own dick. But he had Haiti had some sort of hideous thing happen to him, so he set up a charity. And then people eventually learned that, oh, wait, Wyclef is taking about 60% of all the money that the charity gets.
Okay.
For himself.
That's very Trumpian of him.
Yeah, it's very Trumpian of him, but yeah, that kind of killed his career. Now he's like, I don't know where he is. Then there's the young, black, strong, empowering, and not at all crazy Miss Lauryn Hill. People were like, yes, Lauryn Hill, she's the chosen one. Look at her. She's a young, strong, empowering female. Oh, yes, no doubt Lauryn Hill will be the one with the amazing career. Yes, let's just pile all of this pressure on her. Can't wait for her album. That's going to be incredible. We're all excited. All of the hope is now on her shoulders, right? Yes. So a year after the band breaks up, in 1998, Lauryn Hill releases her first solo album. It is called The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. In her personal life, she was dating Wyclef Jean, and then the Fugees broke up when they did, and they broke up because Lauryn Hill, while she's touring, she meets a rich-ass Jamaican businessman / former NFL player. So because they met,
yeah,
Wyclef broke up, so the entire band broke up. So now she's living with this rich Jamaican businessman, and then suddenly she gets pregnant, her life's in turmoil, and that is what her album is about. Okay? It's about pressure and about being a strong woman and being pregnant and trying to make a life for yourself. It debuts at #1 on the Billboard charts, her new album.
Okay.
She set records. She set a record for the first week sales for a solo female artist. Her first single was #1 on the U.S. music charts. She was also the first woman to ever get 10 Grammy nominations in a single year.
Wow.
And by 2013, her album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, sold over 19 million copies. This is a huge, massive, seminal album. She becomes an instant superstar. Now,
and this year, it would be a classic song.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then the lawsuit came. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Now this happens all the time. Some artist releases this big, huge, massive album, and then some person or some group of people are like, "Hey, we did all the work for this. We're suing. We demand a cut of the money, and we demand credit on the album." Like that sort of thing happens all the time.
Yeah,
happens all the time. But this time it's a group, and a group of musicians and producers. They call themselves the New Ark.
Okay.
And they say that they were hired to help create the album with Lauryn Hill. And Lauryn Hill's people, Lauryn Hill's like, I can have a band. And Lauryn Hill's people and the record executives are like, no, we're going to do a Prince thing. Of course, Prince's music wasn't all created by Prince. He had a band. He had people backing him up.
Yeah.
He had a whole massive army of people helping him, but who got the credit? Prince got the credit. So that is what Lauryn Hill's people wanted, that Lauryn Hill, you can be like this massive female artist.
Yeah.
So it's going to be just you. So Newark came along and they said, we did a bunch of work on this and we demand credit. We demand a cut of the money. And Lauryn Hill's people insisted that no, this was all Lauryn Hill. This was her baby, and she created it, and she wrote it. But so it's a standard lawsuit. But Newark, the people who were doing the suing, they took it a step further.
Okay.
They alleged in the tabloids, in the New York Times, and yada yada yada. They said no. This isn't your typical lawsuit. You don't understand. We made this entire album.
Okay.
We came up with the beats. We came up with the lyrics. We came up with the music. We literally wrote this entire thing. This entire album was us. Lauryn Hill did nothing. It was all us.
Nice.
So Lauryn Hill's reps say, oh, hey, this is just your typical lawsuit. We will settle this in court. And Newark hits harder. They said, no, again, you guys don't get it. This album was all us. It was in no way her. And here's a good way to prove it. Why don't you put Lauryn Hill in a studio and have her do her long-awaited follow-up and see how long that takes?
Okay.
And when you see how long that takes, that's when everyone will realize that this album, which is selling millions and millions of copies, was all us and in no way her. This was all us.
Yes.
We were hired to help her make an album. We ended up making the entire album, and we've gotten no money for it, no credit. Put her in a studio. Put her in a studio, and then you will all see what we mean. So eventually, on the DL, quietly, Lauryn Hill's people in the studio, they settle the lawsuit.
Yeah.
For a reported $5 million.
Nice.
But to quote what pretty much everyone is saying right now about Bill O'Reilly, you don't pay that much if you're innocent.
Yeah.
You pay that much to have something quietly disappear. So
especially when you're sitting on a big pile of cash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's $100,000 to a lawyer fee?
Yeah.
To defend yourself.
Yeah. So with the lawsuit settled, Lauryn Hill immediately went to work on the follow-up to her massively successful debut album. No pressure or anything like that. She's got this. So 2 years later, Lauryn Hill releases her second album, okay? 2 years later, okay? Okay?
Yep.
Okay. Wait, did I say 2 years? Hold on. I meant to say 3. 3 years later, Lauryn Hill releases her long-awaited follow-up to The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. The long-awaited follow-up to her debut album. Okay? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I meant to say 5. 5 years later, Lauryn Hill releases... Okay, wait, hold on. 7 years later, Lauryn Hill, after it's so much waiting, Lauryn Hill finally releases her follow-up album. Okay?
Okay.
Okay? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's the final number. Okay? 7 years later. You got it?
I got it.
Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, here's the real number. 2017.
Okay.
It's the year that we're in right now. We are still awaiting Lauryn Hill's follow-up. To her 1998 album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which she says she is still working on. Basically, she is a musical Howard Hughes at this point. I'm assuming she's...
Yeah, or she was Axl Rose with Chinese Democracy.
Yeah. Or
Golden Earring.
Jerry Lewis with his Nazi comedy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Lauryn Hill is somewhere in a studio saving her urine in jars and wearing tissue boxes for shoes.
Yeah.
However, I will say this. She did hear the skinny, the word on the street. So 4 years after her debut album, she decided to give fans a taste of what she was working on, a little preview, with a concert on MTV Unplugged, which apparently 2018, which apparently in 2002 was still a thing.
Yeah.
So it was just her, Lauryn Hill, and an acoustic guitar on stage. So she got up there and she started talking. And talking. In fact, some people have called her rambling 2-CD MTV Unplugged album one of the worst live albums ever.
Oh,
made.
God.
And it also started a wonderful national conversation about whether or not Lauryn Hill is insane.
Okay.
Because she started talking about paranoia and people coming out to get her and demons and her fighting demons, both metaphorically and literally, and how Jesus saved her and her music actually comes from the angels and yada, yada, yada. Writer Nathan Rabin likens her 2-CD MTV Unplugged album to the lousy speechifying parts of a Kanye West concert. You know, you go to a Kanye West concert and you're like, oh man, I can't wait for Kanye. And he sings this hit song, then he sings this hit song, then he sings this hit song, then he talks for 15 minutes about how much he loves Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And how Taylor Swift is a bitch, and how anyone who has ever illegally downloaded an album should be killed. And people are like, loved this album, and then Kanye West started talking, and that ruined everything. We don't want to hear what you have to say. Just play your music.
Yes.
No? So Lauryn Hill basically hijacked an audience for her 2-CD, for her apparently very hard to listen to 2-CD album, and that's sad. That album was in 2002. Lauryn Hill hasn't done a thing of note since then, save for a ridiculously short Fugees reunion and a small stint in jail for tax fraud.
Okay.
You know, Bunny, if I were in the habit of making possibly legally scandalous statements, then I would say, well, looking at the entirety of Lauryn Hill's career, it looks like, New Ark was right, and Lauryn Hill didn't do a thing for her own goddamn album. But I am not in the habit of making possibly legally scandalous statements, so I won't say that.
Okay. Good. Thank God. We can't afford another lawsuit.
Exactly. But I will say this. That is it for this week's installment of Steve's Historical Approximations, and I hope that you have learned something.
Yes. That was very interesting.
Yeah. Lauryn Hill and her weirdo album. Weird. It's weird. It's weird.
This is one of those stories that makes me sit back and think, how did I miss all of this?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that album because that album was huge, and like every other person I knew had her album.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you what any of the songs were, but I bet if I heard the album, I would probably know like about half of the songs.
Yes.
That's how much it sold back in the day. Hey, Bunny, guess what?
Guess what?
No, actually, guess. Take your time. They're still there.
Barbecued squid.
No, my desaturating friend. I don't even know what desaturating means. I'm just a big Primus fan. Primus has a new album that came out, and it's their first album of new music in a really long time, because their last album was, of course, Primus and the Chocolate Factory, where they just recorded bizarre covers of the entire soundtrack to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from the 70s. So I was really excited because I'm a huge Primus fan. Oh, they have a new album coming out. I'm so excited. And then I bought the album, and I didn't realize that apparently Primus is going back to their prog roots.
Okay.
And
is that what
they
were considered?
I didn't think so. But what that means to me is their new album is very difficult to listen to. Like every song's like 9 minutes and it's rambling and they're struggling to have like a concept album about these demons. I don't know what the fuck it's about. I'm trying really hard to be into it.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. It's difficult. Anyway, it's homework time yet again on the Pope on Film podcast. People of the internet, your attention please. Cease your Snapchatting and pay attention. And just to be clear, this is this is the Venn diagram of my social media. Okay. Facebook is for sharing things that happen to me with my friends and family. Instagram is when I feel that I actually look pretty attractive and want to show that off. Twitter is when I want to shit on Donald Trump or say something offensive. Uh-huh. And Snapchat is for when I'm fucking bored.
Okay.
I said that to Bella, and Bella's like, "Oh my God, you have to write that down." And I'm like, I did write it down. It's a part of the podcast. You need to write that down separately from the podcast because that is wonderful. Each week, the dreaded Council of Emeralds shrugs and rolls their eyes, because that's Emerald, and chooses a homework assignment via the fiery ritual of carousel. A homework assignment that has been painstakingly chosen with the expressed intent of bettering our listeners, nay, all right-thinking people everywhere. Except for you, former Sacramento, California ABC News 10 anchor Dale Shornack.
Yeah.
He knows why. He knows what he did.
And he better get that check over here before everybody else knows why, too.
My brother-in-law, like about 10 years ago, sent me a Facebook gave me a message, and it said, Randall Burkett wants to add you as his brother. Do you accept or deny?
Yeah.
And so I just didn't answer it, and I haven't for like a decade.
Jeannie's home.
Hi, honey. Did you have a good day?
Did you have a good day? He's asking.
It was a very busy day, and I had to stay an hour overtime, and there was road construction, so I had to go a long way around with lots of traffic, and I had to stop and get gas.
Wow, you had a full day.
Yes.
Yeah, you had a very full day. So Randall wanted to add me as his brother-in-law, and I still have yet to answer it. It's been like a decade.
Okay.
I still haven't accepted or denied that. But apparently, anyone can just put something like that on Facebook, and the other person has to accept or deny it. So I decided to pick my favorite TV news anchor in Sacramento, which at the time was News 10's Dale Shornack, and add him as my husband.
Oh, nice.
And so I just put it on Facebook that Dale Shornack was my husband, and then it was sent directly to News 10's Dale Shornack, and he denied it. So I kept doing it over and over again for about 2 years.
Can I do that with Mike Pence?
Probably.
Can I put Mike Pence as my husband on Facebook?
If I can do it with News 10's Dale Shornack, then you could probably do it with Mike Pence. And this week, because it is Diet Pope on Film, we've got a real simple homework assignment. It's a YouTube playlist of 7 songs, and each song was chosen with careful, detailed carelessness. Uh-huh. So we are just gonna talk about these 7 songs. But first, a programming note. There is no notes from the bookstore this week, and there's a good reason why. This past week, something big happened.
Yeah?
Real big. And I need a lot of time to discuss it.
Okay.
So
I am intrigued.
So next week, be sure and look next week for next week's notes from the bookstore. It's a big one. It's a big one. So the first song on the playlist is called Big Enough.
Yes.
And it's a song by Kieran J. Callanan. He's an Australian singer-songwriter. He was allegedly the guitarist for a band called Mercy Arms, but they broke up in 2009, and this dude went solo. The song is just bland and normal and boring. Then you get to the screaming guy. He's just some old guy on a mountain or in the clouds, and he's just screaming.
Well, I think it was two different screaming guys, wasn't it?
Two different screaming guys? It's just screaming. It's just screaming.
Okay, so first, this was really, the whole cowboy thing was so Brokeback Mountain.
Oh,
it,
yes.
like, totally was. They were giving each other, and what the hell was the song? It was something about. So the one guy is the white hat, the other guy is the black hat, and they're both singing separately about how they don't really need to fight or something.
Yeah, the YouTube comments for this are amazing.
And then there was a point where there was a split screen, so you would see the both of them at the same time, and that was looking really. That was like. That was complete. I expected one to spit in his hand, you know?
Yeah.
And then the screaming guy. I think it was two. I think it was one for each of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, this is both of them when they're older.
Oh, okay, so they're older.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. But yeah, there was a split screen and like they hate each other, but then the magic of their old self screaming just brings them together.
Well, they made peace with each other, so neither one of them is dead. They both got old.
Oh, I get it. It looks like it's the same old person, at least to me, except they're both dressed in like the same sort of white hat, black hat.
Yeah.
And they're yelling.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but and really, I hope I'm wrong, because I hope I'm not giving this fucking video that much credit.
Yeah. Apparently, this guy is going out of his way as a musician. He's going out of his way to try and piss people off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Music magazine The Fader had an article about him, how Kieran J. Callanan embraced bad taste.
Okay.
And then The Guardian said, it said about him that he is seriously talented at taking the piss.
Okay.
So I guess this guy's, I don't know, trying to be like a musical Andy Kaufman and trying to make bad songs and bad music and kind of piss people off. And I guess, your video has 2.8 million views, so congratulations, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's a success. So next up is actor, musician, German ultra celebrity, and SpongeBob SquarePants hero David Hasselhoff.
Yes. And that was the Guardian. Yeah.
Yeah. His video for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And watching this video, it must be really sad to be David Hasselhoff, because
I know. Oh my god!
You know you're kind of a joke now. Like, you used to be like a sex symbol. You used to be this big, huge, massive thing, and now you're kind of a joke. And so you just
but he was a sex symbol in a kind of Tiger Beat sort of way.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a sex symbol to some, but a lot of other people didn't take him seriously, like, ever.
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff. Yeah.
Yeah. I read an interview with David Hasselhoff in that Entertainment Weekly. I think they interviewed him because he had this video coming out, and David Hasselhoff said, "Oh, it was great. It was directed by the director of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, and of course he's a big fan of mine, and so of course I pitched him my idea for a serious reboot of Knight Rider, and he seemed very excited. So I'm very excited about that. We can't announce anything yet, but we're talking about it, and I'm very excited about that. And that made me so freaking depressed. That the director of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is dusting off David Hasselhoff, and of course David Hasselhoff is like, well, I have you here. Let me tell you my ideas for the Knight Rider TV show. That's sad. That's really sad.
I always found that show so dead boring.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I was also a grown-up by the time it came out.
Yeah.
You know? But I am still angry at his daughter for releasing that drunk video of David Hasselhoff.
Him on the floor eating the burger and stuff. Yeah, that's real fucking sad.
Because I was like, motherfucker, if I was David Hasselhoff, I'd be drunk too.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's like, good Christ, give him. Thanks for humiliating David Hasselhoff. Do you think he does not know how this feels?
Yeah. That's
really kicking your father when he's down.
Yeah. I really like the video because all of the cast members of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 are there. Okay, there's Batista, and there's as the drummer, there's the director, and there's Yondu and Zoe, whatever her name is. There's Kirk from Stars Hollow. But then I start halfway through the video, I'm like, okay, so they got all of the stars, but they couldn't get Chris Pratt. That's what I was thinking when I first saw it. Chris Pratt's too big of a star now to be in this crappy video. But then he shows up at the exact last second with a fake 70s porn mustache as the guy in the robot outfit, and I really liked that.
Yes. I liked how that kind of shit was all over when Star Wars came out.
Yeah.
The very first Star Wars movie came out, everything had some kind of stupid alien and stupid set design. It was all over the place. So it was kind of funny to see it for a Guardians of the Galaxy song.
Yeah. So the third video,
because Star Wars can lick Guardians of the Galaxy's asshole. That's why.
Yes.
That's fucking why.
I'm sick of Star Wars. Just sick of Star Wars.
Fans of Star Wars are corporate nerds.
Yeah.
I said it. I said it right here. They are corporate nerds.
Yeah.
That's not what fandom used to be. Fandom used to be finding the arcane and the hidden and that thing that and nobody else knows and you love it, and fuck those stupid people. That was fandom. Star Wars is Disney, which is the biggest company ever now.
Yeah.
So you're just a bunch of corporate suck-up nerds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right, I said it.
The third video is from Primus, whose new album, again, is insanely challenging, even to hardcore fans like me. So in 1998, Primus released an EP, an extended play. It's what's between a single and a full album. And the album featured covers of Primus songs, including like Metallica doing a Primus cover. It's a Primus album that hardly actually features Primus in it.
Yeah.
But covers of Primus. But if you were smart enough in 1998 to get your CD that you just bought and put it in your computer, then your computer would automatically play the video for Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Okay.
Which is a beautiful stop motion claymation video that is absolutely beautiful and incredible, and it would play on Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Festival of Animation all the time, and it's just really beautiful. And I hadn't seen it for a while, so I looked it up, and of course it's on YouTube because everything's on YouTube. If she wants to come in, let her come in. She wants to come in because she's under the impression that mommy is in here. So let her in. Hi, Eleanor. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. So you're not going to come in, you're just going to scream at the door? Is that it? Come here. Hold on, buddy. Come
Okay.
here. Come here. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Hi,
Can you hear me?
Maxwell.
Okay.
Hi.
I'm just screaming at the door.
Yeah, she woke up. She's upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You tried to take over the podcast. It's fine. You do that.
Hey, Dad.
Here. So, anyway, I just wanted to put that Primus on there. I hadn't seen that in a while. I really like it.
It was fun. Okay. That was the only reason. It was, yeah. I can never tell a Primus song. You know?
Yep. Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever heard a Primus song that I didn't like, but I can never tell it's them.
You can always tell that it's Primus just because the bass strings are insanely loose.
Yeah.
But the next song, the fourth one on the list, this is important. It's a viral video that's known as, on the internet, it's known as The Tingo Scra.
The Tingo Scra.
Yeah. It's a dude rapping insanely of bizarre noises that you can barely understand on BBC Radio, and someone came up with fake captions, and it's difficult. It's a difficult song to understand, and I've seen bits and pieces of this video for a long ass time on the internet, so I decided to try and get to the bottom of it. I saw a number of videos until I found one with the rapper's name, and then I found some other videos with that names him as something different. Then finally I figured it out. This guy is a joke.
Okay.
The guy who does the Tingo Scra is actually an actor and comedian named Michael DePa, and this is a rap persona that he came up with. So this song is crappy and weird and bizarre and you can't understand it, but that's because this is all an act. This is like Borat meets Connor for real. It's all an act. So the song is supposed to be...
Okay, wait a second. Which song is this? Because we also have a Christian rap song, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the black dude with the huge jacket making the bizarre like boom boom big shot hey yo like that weird song. Yeah. Yeah. But this whole rap persona of his is
kind
just
of an Eraserhead hairdo, that guy?
No, he's wearing a hat. He's all gangsta, but then he starts rapping in this weird Jamaican accent, and you can barely understand what he's saying, and he's making all these weird, bizarre sound effects and stuff. It's really
cool. Okay. That was like actually in the sound booth.
Yeah.
Yes, and it had to have fucking subtitles to figure out what he was saying. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. But the whole thing is an act. He's not actually a rapper. He's like a comedian that's just trying to fuck with people.
Cool.
Now, after that one is I grab my nuts. That's the next video.
Yes.
And I love that man. I grab my nuts.
Well, as happens with your playlists like this, I didn't realize when it stopped, so I saw like 3 or 4 more videos from that guy.
Gotcha.
And I was like, Steve must really like this guy.
I love this guy. He's a guy known as Pissed Off Gil. He's also known as GMC Faux Show. He is very well known on the internet for his insanely hit song that I've seen a bajillion times on my social media. I Really Miss My Wigga. Have you seen that? It's a really great. It's a really great, cheap, stupid video about his friend who dies of a hernia. and he's really sad and he misses him, but he rewrites the song just in case any white people are listening to it and want to sing it.
Okay.
He changes the N to a W. It's a really funny video, and it's been seen like millions of times.
Mm-hmm.
Just on YouTube, and then like someone posted it on Facebook, and it's been seen like 10 million times on there. So I wanted to pick another video for him that I think is as funny. So I picked I Grab My Nuts, and I like that.
Yeah.
Now, after that video, that's the Christian rapper.
Yes.
The Christian rap song called God Taught Me by 18-year-old Nazi waif Zonti.
How much do you think he had to rent the 2 black kids for?
Oh, yeah, I do not know. I do not know.
Because I am sorry. There is no way I will believe in hell that kid has black friends.
Yeah.
No, never.
Do you know how, Bunny? Do you know how I started podcasting?
How?
God taught me to podcast.
Yes.
Seriously, honey. Seriously, honey. I think I was supposed to write Bunny, but I wrote Honey instead. But I'm going with it. I'm sticking with it. Seriously, Bunny. Fuck this kid.
Yes.
I'm talking about Zonti and not the baby.
Uh-huh.
To paraphrase Hunter S. Thompson, Zonti is what we all would be listening to if the Nazis had won World War II. Looks like an albino too.
Yes.
Not just that he's white, but like seriously, like I think like they recorded this video in 30-second clips because he couldn't be out in the sun that long.
You know, if you ever meet him in person, you can see all of his veins.
Yeah. Like I was going to look for a bio of Zonti, but then I realized I didn't want to put any effort into Zonti.
Yeah.
So I didn't do a bio for him.
Oh, good.
But I will tell
his
you,
opacity is set at like
old.
75.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did look him up, and he just turned 18. So he's legal, ladies.
No.
Excited. Now, the last song was actually the hardest one to find because I wanted the playlist to end with a normal, regular, honest-to-goodness music video from, say, the 80s or 90s that seemed like a normal video at the time, a normal song and yada, 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 but a song in a video that is now seen as a ridiculous fucking joke.
Okay.
Therefore, I present to you the last song in the video, She's Strange by Cameo. An honest-to-wood R&B group from the 80s and not the band from Eddie Murphy's Coming to America.
Okay.
As I think they look like. Sexual chocolate!
Sexy
I think
chocolate.
I think they're all sexual chocolate, and I love this video because it's ridiculous, but this was like and also like the lead singer of the band Cameo looks an awful lot like he's just some black guy with a porn stash and a jerry curl, but literally I feel like you could pick him up and put him in any Turkish film. Not exactly sure why, but this guy could easily like star in Turkish Rambo or Turkish Jaws. He'd be the shark in Turkish Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be the Turkish in Turkish.
Yeah, he could be the Turkish in Turkish Jaws.
He'd be Turkey in Turkish.
And that is it for homework this week. We sincerely and literally
yes.
We hope and pray that your eyes, minds, and pores have all been suitably opened. But don't think that you're getting out of here that easily, bucko, muchacho, buckchacho. Don't forget next week's homework assignment. And for next week, we are focusing on a very dangerous cult that continues to ensnare our nation's young people. I am talking about Chili's restaurants.
Ooh.
I've got an article from GQ magazine from 2016, and it's a long article entitled The Church of Chili's.
Okay.
Apparently, inside the Church of Chili's, apparently there's there's, you know, a big history of young people that are way too excited about their job of going store to store teaching people how to be Chili's team members. That's a big important thing. Oh, and wow. It's a really interesting article, and it's in the news currently for a reason that we'll get to. Anyway, step inside the Church of Chili's. I just sent you the link to it.
Okay. Thank you. It sounds interesting.
Eleanor, you have stolen this entire bag of candy. I know you can't have this entire bag of candy. Okay? You sneaky little so-and-so. Here, I will give you a Milky Way, only because you successfully stole an entire bag, and if I don't let you have a little bit of this candy, you're going to flip the fuck out. So, here you go. Now go out and terrorize people. So that is next week on the Pope on Film podcast.
Okay, a Chili's restaurant article.
Yes. Inside the Church of Chili's. I just sent you the link.
All right. Thank you, sir.
On Messenger. So, unfortunately, we need to talk about this week's movie. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it sucks. And the weird thing is that I wasn't going to break down the plot, but then I decided to, and it's probably one of the smallest plot breakdowns of all time. Like, I think I spent more time discussing the plot of the Oogie Loves and the Big Balloon Adventure than I did for Stephen King's The Dark Tower, for shit's sake.
God, this was awful.
But anyway, before we get to the meat of this episode, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
We should take a break. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. Thank you for having my back there, Maxwell. That was good. That was good. I was hoping you'd show up and have my back, and you did. Thanks, bro.
Welcome, bro.
Nice.
Nice.
If Bob is mad, it's a mercy. May the gods pity the man who is in his callousness can remain sane to the day it is at.
Satanic.
Panic.
You prayed and believed your whole life, and here you are. Explain that to me.
What do you say to people that are offended by your show because you pray to Jesus in every episode?
If we disown him, he'll disown us.
When a 12-year-old watches his mother dying of cancer, a God who would allow that is not worth believing in. Life is really a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury and signifying nothing.
Name? Wheaton, Josh Wheaton, Philosophy 150. You might want to think about a different instructor.
Come on, man, it can't be that bad.
Think Roman Colosseum, people cheering for your death.
I'm Professor Radisson. This is Philosophy 150. I would like to bypass senseless debate altogether and jump to the conclusion, which every sophomore is already aware of: there is no God. All that I require from each of you is that you fill in the papers I've just given you with 3 little words: God is dead. Mr. Wheaton, is something wrong?
I can't do what you want. I'm a Christian.
If you cannot bring yourself to admit that God is dead, then you will need to defend the antithesis.
Think of Jesus as my friend.
You think Jesus is God?
I don't want to disappoint him.
So your acceptance of this challenge may be the only meaningful exposure to God and Jesus they'll ever have.
To me, he's not dead. I don't want anyone to get talked out of believing in him just because his professor thinks they should.
Mr. Wheaton, are you ready?
We're going to put God on trial.
You think you're smarter than me, Wheaton? Do not try to humiliate me in front of my students. In that classroom, there is a God. I'm him.
This experiment is over. You get to decide who the most important person in your life is. Me, Professor Radisson.
But I have to do this thing. Like it's something that God wants me to do. I can't just turn away from it.
You just want to ensnare them in your primitive superstition.
What I want is for them to make their own choice. That's what God wants.
You have no idea how much I'm going to enjoy failing you.
Yeah, but who are you really looking to fail? Me or God?
God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion.
Science supports his existence. You know the truth. So why do you hate him? It's a very simple question. Why do you hate God?
God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, roaring like a lion.
And we're back with more of Don't Eat All of the Halloween Candy, Bella.
I will.
There's dinner. I worked really hard on it. It's in the slow cooker. The Pope on Film. Well then, Bunny.
Yes.
This week on Diet Pope on Film, we are continuing our month-long movement that we are calling the November Palate Cleanser. It's an entire month of well-known popular films designed to counter the massively archaic films we saw last month for Bunoween.
Yes.
No offense, of course, to both Bunny Williams, and no offense to snip killers with Down syndrome.
Yes.
So this week we are watching a big-budget Hollywood summer movie. One based on a classic beloved series of books. I am, of course, talking about Stephen King's beloved book series, The Chronicles of Narnia.
Yes.
In this series of books, there's a young boy who may or may not be the chosen one, and he needs to fight against an evil bad guy with the help of a gruff, scruffy but kind-hearted bandit. Gee, that is such an original idea. You've never seen anywhere else before. That's why I think it works so much.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, we may or may not be having a whole lot of fun complaining about the expensive letdown known as 2007.
How expensive could it be? I really want to know the budget on this one.
$60 million.
$60 million. Well, that's not terribly a huge budget. That's kind of a Kevin Smith budget, actually.
Well, that might be one of the reasons why. So anyway,
Oh God, they spent like no fucking money on this.
So before we get into it, a quick question for you: which did you like more, The Dark Tower or The Mummy?
Oh,
I feel like both of them are like cousins in that they're both soulless, big budget Hollywood monstrosities.
Yeah.
So they're like related in a way.
But if I got to go with like better, I got to go with The Mummy.
Yeah, because at least The Mummy had Tom Cruise being shot at, and that's always fun.
It was a coherent plot line.
Yes,
it was
true.
a bad plot line, but it was a coherent plot line.
Yeah.
I mean, after about a half hour, 45 minutes, I looked at Jeannie and I was like, do you understand anything that's going on in this movie? Because I barely do, and I read all the books.
Yeah.
And the ancillary books.
Yeah, like the side books and all that.
Yeah.
So, The Dark Tower, Stephen King, Sony and Columbia Pictures, this is or was or is still supposed to be a tent pole. This was part one of a multi-part series. It was going to be a series of movies and a TV series and yada, yada, yada. But The Dark Tower opened to bad reviews and a very lackluster box office, so the future of The Dark Tower is in question. And here's an interesting part. Rightfully so, because this movie is crap.
Mm-hmm.
See, The Dark Tower...
It's incredible crap.
Yeah. The Dark Tower is an epic 8-book fantasy adventure series from author Stephen King. He calls the series his magnum opus. 8 books, 4,250 pages, not including the side books, the prequels, the novellas, the comic books. This series has a loyal fan base, but what the fuck is this movie, though?
Because
this movie?
Oh, they took bits from everywhere. Everywhere. I don't see how anybody can understand this.
Yeah. It's like an amalgam of a bunch of different books in the series smooshed together into an hour and a half of cliches. So for someone who's never read the series, none of this makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, this brings me to Ender's Game.
Yes.
There was so much of a hype over them finally making a movie based on the beloved sci-fi book Ender's Game, and everyone was excited, and there's Harrison Ford, and oh my god, this is going to be huge and big budget and special effects and yada yada yada. And like most of the reviews that I read said, if you have not read the book Ender's Game, you will have no idea what the fuck is going on. And that is a sad review, because you should be able to understand the Dark Tower movie without having to read 8 books and 4,250 pages.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that's possible.
And the side books, because Insomnia is a tie-in book to the Dark Tower. Hearts of Atlantis is a tie-in to the Dark Tower. The Black House was a tie-in to the Dark Tower.
Doesn't this kid, troubled teen, is what I called him? Doesn't he just have The Shining?
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep calling it, he's got the shine. Oh, he's a pure shine. Like, so this is also The Shining.
Yeah. Where he really didn't in the books, as far as I recall. He might have had a little something. They had mentioned The Shining like once in passing.
Yeah.
You know? Like it wasn't like they really harped on it in this movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. The thing that amazes me the most about this movie is, Eleanor, you can't have Clorox disinfecting wipes. Why would you even want Clorox disinfecting wipes? You're 16 months old. What are you trying to do? I know you miss Mama. I miss Mama too, but Clorox disinfecting wipes isn't going to make her appear any quicker. I'm sorry for that. Okay? Yeah, okay. Now, you know what? You're really bumming me out, baby. I don't know. Maybe Bella knows. Go ask her. Go ask her what happened. Oh, you're just going to sit on the floor. Okay. The thing that amazes me the most about the Dark Tower is how they got the Dark Tower series, which is supposed to be this unique and original series with amazing characterizations and all this attention to detail and this big epic story, and they just turned it into generic Hollywood bullshit.
Oh my god, yes.
There's nothing original about this freaking movie.
And they never bring you into this world.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You know, you watching this is closer to watching The Begotten. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Where are you? You know.
No, that is Mommy's. You can't open that. You can't open that. That is Mommy's. So throughout the years, numerous people have tried to turn this series of books into a something.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams, Ron Howard, and what I would have wanted to see, Tommy Wiseau. Hello, I am the gunslinger. I have
couldn't
come
be
to
worse.
get the Man in Black. Oh, hello, Man in Black. You are my favorite bad guy. Come and get me, man in black. You're just a chicken. Cheep, 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 cheep. So a bunch of different people tried to make it into something, and so it had a bunch of different versions. It was going to be a 7-series film franchise. Then they were going to make it into a trilogy. Then they were going to make it into a TV miniseries. Then they were going to make it into a cable TV miniseries. Then there was even talks of a Netflix series. So a lot of work went to finally turning this into a series, which is why it's so weird that they spent so much time working on it, and then the movie ends up just being a 95-minute film that seemed to be in a hurry to get itself over with.
Yes, that is perfect, yes.
Yeah, like so much time and effort went into making this film, and then it's like you're just rushing into everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't take your time with this.
Yeah.
There was part of me that watched this film, and throughout the entire thing, I was just thinking, okay, well, if this was an FX series,
yeah,
I bet this would have been great. Or
series,
HBO, but not.
Yeah, series would be the best for this. Yeah, they've already got they've got at least 5 years of good material.
Yeah, it's weird that we need to get this big epic series of fantasy books and turn it into a PG-13 summer blockbuster for the family.
Yeah.
So the film opened to just $19.5 million, and that's like a laughable opening weekend box office. And, yeah. And yet,
how much of that was Matthew McConaughey's salary?
Yeah. No, that's an excellent question.
I mean, Idris Elba, I bet you we can get him for $500,000.
Yeah,
maybe. $500,000 and a possibility of a franchise of his own. That would be a good deal. So where the fuck did all this money go?
I don't know. And yet, despite the bad reviews and the lackluster box office, apparently they still say they're going through with the sequels and the TV show and whatnot, although I don't know if they're actually going to do it or why.
Oh, please don't. Oh, man, no, you've raped it enough for now.
The only thing that I find interesting about this series is, and at this point I have to stop and say spoiler alert or whatever, but like decades old spoiler alert, but the book series ends with the gunslinger going back to the beginning of the series, and he's just caught in this like time loop.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have like the horn of MacGuffin
that
he needs to defeat everybody, so he's forced to just live this over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But in this movie series, apparently, he does have this horn. So in a way, technically, this movie series is a sequel to the books.
Yes, and I've heard it pitched that way as well.
Yeah.
But
that is...
It's not a sequel of anything. It's chopped up bits of stuff. It's succotash, okay? It's peas and corn. So
I'm not going to give you one right now because Eleanor's right here, and if she sees me give one to you, then she's going to freak out and she's going to want some, okay? Here, you want this comb, Eleanor? Go for it. Eleanor's literally been right here next to me this entire time. She's actually doing pretty good right now.
Oh, good.
But yes, this is succotash. She's waving at you right now. You can't see. She's waving at you.
Yeah,
it
was.
I said hi.
It was just parts of so many different things, and they're not connecting.
Eleanor, okay, you want to see Bunny? There's Bunny. You see Bunny? Say hi, Bunny.
Hi.
Say hi. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got it. It's okay. It's okay. I know, Mommy's not here. You're very confused. Here, have a hair tie. You don't want it. Okay. Then give it back to me because it's actually emeralds. You can't have the podcast. You are only acting up because I said you were doing good, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll show you. So let's discuss the plot of the film The Dark Tower. This should be easy. It won't take long. The film... Eleanor, you're fine. Here, let me hold you. You can't have Clorox disinfecting wipes. I don't know why you want Clorox disinfecting wipes. You're 16 months old. You don't need Clorox disinfecting wipes, baby. The film
put her in the bathroom and maybe she'll clean it.
That's a good point. The film opens in the bland, gritty world of every teen fantasy novel, where Matthew McConaughey is doing sci-fi shit.
Yeah.
Cut to a troubled New York teen in an earthquake. He draws images of his dreams. He dreams of images of towers and people and numbers and yada, yada, yada.
Uh-huh.
He gets into a fight at school and he goes to see his therapist who thinks he's cray, and this is all a manifestation of his dead dad.
Yeah.
So then creepy homeless guy gives him a prophecy. His parents want to send him to a nut house, and they should because he's obviously crazy. You can't have my podcast notes. You just want what you can't have. That means you're human, okay? None of us ever get what we want, and it's beautiful. So the kid goes to sleep, he has visions, yada, yada, yada. So the people from the loony bin come to take him away, but one might be an evil shapeshifter or whatever. So he runs away, and he finds an old house with a portal from Rick and Morty.
Right.
And he tries to go through, but the house is alive for some reason that I don't understand.
Yeah.
All I know is that none of this happened in the first book. I read the first book, and none of this is in there. There's no little kid in present day. You can't write on my face. You can't get a pen and write on your dad's face. No parent would allow that.
The talisman is part of this too.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
this fucking series.
See, and that's where like here's where I say even I'm confused, okay? Because we have the scene where he is with the State Farm guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, that's Parkus from the Black House. Okay, because there was a scene in the Black House where Parkus met and talked with Roland.
Okay.
Because when they go into that alternate world, that's Roland's world.
Okay.
Okay. Eye of the Dragon. That's it too.
Yeah.
But then later on, he addresses him as father, and I'm like, motherfucker, like you're gonna mix shit this much, and you're gonna take the scene from Parkus, call it his dad, so you don't have to build a Western Kingdom set, which I really wanted to see the Western Kingdom set.
Yeah.
Because that's Roland's people. They are all knights, and they're gunslingers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, okay, the State Farm guy. I know. Okay.
Yeah, he was also the president in the first season of 24.
24, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kid goes through the portal, and now he's in Midworld, which looks empty and barren and sparse. So now he's in Tucson, Arizona. He's in downtown Tucson, Arizona.
Yes.
So the troubled teen meets the gunslinger. He's gruff and angry and threatening. No way he could ever open up to a young kid like this.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that troubled teen literally has the Shining, which causes visions. And as far as I can tell, Matthew McConaughey is stealing children to use their Shining powers, their shinning, to try and destroy the tower at the center of all known universes, I think.
Yes.
It's difficult to tell. So they go and find a seer or whatever. So they're going through the woods and they fight a few Cronenbergs.
Mm-hmm. See now, okay, so Yes, those
I
kids
know
are.
what they are. I'm just they're Cronenbergs.
Those kids are breakers. And what they're doing is they're breaking the beams that lead to the Dark Tower, which is the nexus of the universe.
Gotcha.
So that's why he drew that wheel thing in the sand?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Because
Remember
each
that.
of the beams lead to the Dark Tower.
Okay.
So they're using the kid's psychic abilities to break the spokes of the wheel, basically.
Okay, hold on, Bunny. Yes, Maxwell, what do you want to tell me? What are you saying? You made something? Okay, then show it to me. Okay, you didn't want to say something, you wanted to ask me a question. Those are two different things. Meanwhile, Matthew McConaughey shows up in our world, Midgard, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
Kills Troubled Teen's parents while Troubled Teen is being read by the Oracle, who's like, have a cookie. You're not the chosen one. The Matrix. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I keep getting distracted because the Troubled Teen in the middle of this entire film. Oh, yeah, no, you showed that to me, Maxwell. You showed that to me yesterday. I was quite impressed. I cried. The Troubled Teen in the middle of this film looks exactly like the Troubled Teen from the show Weeds.
Okay.
So I kept getting distracted, thinking that this kid was going to kill a Mexican drug lord or something. He looks exactly like the kid from Weeds. It's weird. So the gunslinger and the Troubled Teen realize, oh, duh, Matthew McConaughey must have a base on normal Earth. So they set up a portal and they monologue a bunch. You can't have my clipboard. You cannot have my clipboard. This is my clipboard. It is mine. I'm sorry. What else do you want? You want one of these? Here, have that. No more, though.
Well, Matthew McConaughey is Randall Flagg from The Stand.
Okay, that's what it seemed like when they went to the base. And it's like, okay, so this is The Stand because that's what this looks like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that makes sense.
And there were even places that had died off of Captain Trips in the other world and stuff like that. And Matthew McConaughey played it way too stiff.
Yeah.
You know, he was kind of a joker. You know, he was a lot more casual. He wasn't worried about losing and trying to stop Roland from anything.
Yeah, he was just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're trying to set up the portal so that they can go to Midgard or whatever, and then faceless monsters attack, but the gunslinger shoots them, they go to regular New York City, then they go to a hospital, and wacky things occur.
Yes.
Hey, now the gunslinger's in regular Earth, and wackiness ensues. So the Troubled Teen finds his parents dead. There's drama. Then Matthew McConaughey arrives at the gun store, and the Troubled Teen gets kidnapped and gets taken to what I can assume is the place where the Foot Clan was from the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Mm-hmm.
It looked eerily similar. In fact, I'm surprised there were no teens skateboarding.
Yeah.
And the kid gets strapped to the MacGuffin machine. And the rest of the film plays out like a million boring, uneventful action films.
Yeah.
Like there's no originality throughout the rest of the film at all. The good guys fighting an army of bad guys, including the bad guy's second in command, and there's a doomsday machine. It's all just so freaking cliche.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So freaking cliche. Like our discussion, I'm like at the end of the movie now. That's the end of the movie.
Uh-huh.
I've done this in film.
That is the end of the movie. All of the characters were like so cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
that there was no real character development at all on any of Roland's the Gunslinger. So fucking what? You know?
Yeah.
Why is that so terribly important? Why are these people impressed by that?
Yeah.
You know, they didn't give enough backstory. You know, and they didn't they didn't show us very much that was cool.
Yeah, no, not a lot. Not a lot. I shouldn't have gotten to the end of the film that quickly, but it did.
Yeah.
So that's all I got this week. The movie sucks. I don't know if sequels and a TV show are going to help it, but I doubt that that's happening. That is all I've got for this week's episode of the Pope on Film, as evident by the fact that the baby is screaming and knocking on the door that Bella apparently closed.
But quickly, we should mention how we killed the Dark Universe.
No, I'm saving that for next week.
Okay.
I'm saving it for next week.
Okay.
Next week, we've got a good episode. We're going to say goodbye to the Dark Universe. We're going to be talking about some problems I have with Hulu. We're going to be talking about the Church of Chilies. And we are also continuing our November palate cleanser by watching our movie next week, Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
Check the cough. It's not 100. It's not the best, but it's good for. It is what it is. Okay. Anyway, next week we're discussing Thor Ragnarok. What I honestly, sincerely believe to be a just the brother of What We Do in the Shadows, which is another movie that we've done, which is wonderful, and everyone should see it.
Yes.
Cool. So very excited about next week. We're going to be talking about Thor and Chilies and Hulu and the Dark Universe, and it's going to be a full-length episode. We've got some big things happening with notes from the bookstore, and next week's going to be a big, fat, normal episode, and we hope that you listen in. But now that we're here at the end of Diet Pope on Film, all the taste with half the calories, I've got to say, I think that despite the fact that it was a bit of a shorter, Rooney little episode there, I think that this has been a good episode.
I think this has been a good episode.
Good. I'm glad you agree with me. That means a lot. You mean a lot to me, buddy.
Our little episode is still a long podcast.
Yep. Even the short one is still a long one.
Most podcasts run an hour.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger ones, they'll go 2 hours. We're right in between there.
Yeah, and this is a short episode.
Yes.
It's amazing.
So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve, saying thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Skitly-a-foot. Do-do-do-shoot. Do-wow. And cut and print.
So much has happened since I last saw you. I lost my hammer, like yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh. And then I went on a journey of self-discovery, where I met you. Where are we? You have no idea. Hela, the goddess of death, has invaded Asgard.
Oh, I've missed this.
And you and I had a fight recently.
Did I win?
No, I won, easily.
Doesn't sound right.
Well, it's true.
Asgard is dead. And it'll be reborn in my image. I thought you'd be glad to see me.
I need to stop her here and now. To prevent Ragnarok, the end of everything. So I'm putting together a team. Like the old days.
Surprise! This will be such fun.
Hello.
Hi.
He's a fighter.
Here we go! I'm not a queen or a monster. I'm the goddess of death. What were you the god of again?
We're the same, you and I. Just a couple of hot-headed fools.
Yeah, same. Hulk like fire, Thor like water.
Well, kind of both like fire.
But Hulk like raging fire, Thor like smoldering fire.